So I'm back for another review of Real Housewives of Potomac. Love in the Fast Lane Season 9, Episode 10. All right, forgive the way I look. How was y'all's Monday? I hope y'all enjoyed it because I didn't enjoy mine. It was long as hell and it's raining and it's cold and I need to still get on the treadmill. Nevertheless, this episode was boring as hell. Is it just me or does the cast seem incredibly disjointed? Like they're all having these sort of singular scenes with like, maybe Giselle and her daughter, or Wendy, her sister and her mother, Karen and Ray, Mia and Gordon, but not like as the group. And I get that people have different stuff going on, but that seems to me to be poor production because they've always had, their different scenes with their families, but this just seems like it's disjointed. I forgot Robin was gone, and honestly, this whole time, I was thinking to myself, although I hope that I can take this back at some point, I was always convinced that Giselle was pulling Robin's strings. But without Robin around, for some reason, Giselle is more tolerable. And I don't know if that has a lot to do with the fact that people were not going to be filming with her because of the way she behaved and she had to bring it down, or what. But she is more tolerable for some reason. And I do mean tolerable. I don't mean I like her, but just in case. Anyway, so Giselle's girls are going to college, all of them. She said on Jamal's side, they are fourth generation HBCU students, which is wonderful. Okay. Her father's will, her father passed away from either brain tumor or brain cancer. I can't exactly remember. But his will has disappeared. And then a new will showed up. She said that she knows he didn't sign when he was sick because he didn't even have the capacity to hold a pen or read or write. And I believe that. And people will pull those games on old people, especially if they have money, and find a way to get rid of those kind of things. So she's taking it to court, and she should. So Giselle had a talk she said, well, look, I had a talk with your father since he's, getting married. And then she's in the confessional talking about Jamal's going to be taking on wives. I said, ooh, that's a read. That's a read. That's a read. Because she already know how this is going to go. She was married to that motherfucker. Anyway, she said, so I don't want anything like this to happen to y'all. So I had him put y'all's money away in a trust, which means regardless of anybody, I don't care what happens. She was like, that supersedes a prenup. It supersedes anything else, and nobody can touch that money no matter what if anything goes wrong with them. And I think that was smart. I think that was smart to make that your first order of business, to make sure your girls are provided for, especially since Jamal has 18 kids. We can't never get no whole count on this shit. And that already says something to me about his character. All right. But anyway, and then the girls were like, okay, because she was saying, if right now I don't get anything and all the money is supposed to go to his kids. And I think Giselle has a brother. I'm not sure who the other person is, but whatever. And so the girls just said to her, well, look, if you find a man you like, couldn't you just do the same thing as daddy? Just put, the money away from him in the trust instead of worrying about, prenups and stuff. She was like, look, I don't trust nobody. So basically that's good for y'all, not for me. Giselle, moving on. All right. So Stacy and her spiritual boyfriend or whatever the hell we call him. So TJ is going to make her lunch because he doesn't feel like going to the store. That already confused me. Because if you're going to make lunch because you don't feel like going to the store, so you feel like cooking? Huh? You couldn't order nothing? That's what I mean. I just hate when people are dumb for no reason or say dumb shit on TV and then expect the rest of us to just act like it's no big deal. Anyway, so then he says he's going to pull out his chef's hat and was giving us this fake Italian Chef Boyardee accent. And now I see why you don't really get no parts in Hollywood. Okay, and it's a satin bonnet. I was like, you know what? I can definitely see TJ wearing a satin bonnet or having one of them, what's her name? Caitlyn Jenner moments, like where Kim and Chloe saw him dressing in drag, by accident in some of the bedrooms or the garage or whatever. He seemed like that kind of like he trying it out. Stacey said she doesn't even wear a bonnet, so he didn't get it from her, and we know her daughter probably don't wear one either. Because if her mother don't, she don't. And I said, Stacey, you don't wear a bonnet? How the fuck is Stacey's hair that laid? I need to know. Okay. He brings up Wendy's party and said again how, while it may have been stressful for other people, it was especially stressful for me. First of all, that's a bitch ass move as it is. He's still bitching about her leaving him at the party to go and talk. She was getting pulled in 4 different directions. No, his issue is he wants to be with her on camera constantly to promote himself because we don't know you. And just what we've got of you, we don't like you. But we do like Stacey. So it's already moving in the wrong direction for you, TJ. Because don't nobody like to see their new fave get treated like that. Anyway, he's jealous of her. And it's too many men out here jealous of women and competing with them and trying to get with them to break them and ruin them because they're unwilling to work for what they want and handle their disappointments on their own without taking it out on women. That being said, where does he live? What's his next project? We need to know. Okay, because you ain't bringing nothing to the table. That's something my great uncle taught me. You ask a man what he's bringing to the table. And if he can't say nothing, you don't have conversations with men like that. You don't. That's it. If he can't explain that and understand that's his job, that's it. Okay, anyway. So, she tells him basically what the Potomac chicks were saying and that, they don't think she should date him or whatever. And she said, well, would you be willing to continue this journey with me if I started to, see other people? And he was like, well, the thing is, sex for me has never been a big deal. I don't think it's good to have sex with people just out of emotions and not really caring or because you're broken. And I want to help you with that. And I was like, and then he said, but I wouldn't close off options either. He was like, but I want to help you through this. No, hell no. Let me tell you what this is. This is the build-up, because we've already seen him show his ass. He showed his ass at that party to embarrass her and to belittle her. And punish her for being on TV. Because he's not. Number 2, what he wants to be able to say is, I stuck with you when you were going through a divorce. All the things that I've done and sacrificed for you. You should be able to do this for me. And the next thing you know, she's in all this kind of fuck shit with him. All right, it's like the Cynthia Bailey Peter shit. No. And Stacey is too beautiful. She's too smart. And Stacey is herself. And like I said before, that is why she is my new favorite. Because Stacey just does Stacey. And I like it. He's one of those so he can say, well, now you owe me. He's one of them. Get rid of him. Next, Wendy meets up with her sister and her mother at this restaurant, and they take shots as soon as they get in there. I just thought her and her sister were going out to chill. She tells her sister that she hasn't told their mother that she left her job as a professor. She resigned. And why did Wendy have on that fat suit? Or them big arm dresses? That was not looking like that queen in Alice in Wonderland. Remember how she was sitting on that thing? Anyway, her sister was like, you brought me here for that? I would have felt the same way. Like, you brought me here for this shit? Especially knowing that mother shows her ass. First of all, Wendy, and I know it's hard to come out of being a child as an adult because it's still your parent. But the fact that you are so scared to tell your mother this when your mother doesn't pay any of your bills is unhealthy. And the fact that she's kept up so much tension between her and Eddie's family, and therefore you and Eddie have gotten caught up in it, is why I don't fuck with her. Okay? So it might be best that you keep her off TV so we don't say things that hurt your feelings. Anyway, her mother comes in and continues one of her blasphemous prayers. And by that, I mean, she always is looking especially to pray in front of the camera and get attention like that. And her behavior says the opposite of anybody who is devout and Christian. Anyway, So she starts telling her mother how they've talked before about her wanting to pursue other interests. And her mother took it well. She tells her mother that she resigned. And then she starts giving this whole spew about how I want to spend more time with my kids. Wendy, let me explain something to y'all. Professors, particularly assistant professors that had as long as Wendy, 7 to 8 years, it was her opportunity to publish a book, but a book that is based on her dissertation, something that was approved by other people at the highest university level, and make it a book. Instead, she decided she wanted to do a popular book with her mother on the front, which is not the kind of thing that gets you tenure. Tenure is basically job protection as a professor. So I already knew she wasn't going to keep that job when she got on here, because it's just not a good look. Wendy, you quit because you didn't get tenure and you want to be a reality star. Just say that. Your mom taking it well, you want to know why? Because she was never worried about your education and your job for you. Okay? She wanted you and your sister to get degrees, like law degrees, doctor degrees, engineers, so y'all could make money so that y'all could take care of her and she could have money and not work. And guilt y'all into taking care of her as her kids. So your Bravo money is preferable for her. That's why she don't give a damn. All right, anyway, so Giselle and Ashley go speed date, and this was so uneventful. Ashley gets flowers from a man who Googled her. First red flag. Anyway, Giselle didn't get any the first round, although she noticed that Ashley got them. There are some lames in speed dating. I know I tried that shit when I first got to New York. It don't matter how much betting happens. Oh gosh. Anyway, she meets some guy named Namza. And he did, like before they showed it, I was like, he looks like her type. And then they did the playbacks to Jamal and Sherman. I said, yeah, Giselle, you got a type. Anyway, Karen and Ray, even though the guy we never believed was her boyfriend, and then that guy she dated that season, but he ain't have enough money, I could tell, are kind of different. But the people she like goes hard for tend to be those kind of guys. Karen and Ray. Ray is such a sweet, nice Southern old man. He is the kind of old man that you would see him at the park and he just waved to you and you just like, I like that old black man. Then you happen to sit down and talk to him one day and you find out he a businessman and he dropping jewels on you, telling you where to put your money, how to save it, that kind of thing. That's the kind of person I feel like Ray is. Okay? So Karen comes out there on the porch or the veranda and says she had some quiet time. And she said she had time to reflect on the night she got the DUI. She said, I was just so angry with Ray because I didn't know if our marriage was going to make it. Karen? I got to hurry up and get on this treadmill and do my daily exercise. But what you are not going to do, and what the fuck me is not going to do before I even get to her, what you're not going to do is play in our face and blame Ray or anybody else for your damn DUI. This is not your first go-round with this kind of thing. Being an emotional wreck is all the more reason to call a Lyft or hell, call a friend. Call somebody. We're not putting this on Ray and I'm not buying it. Yes, I mean, honestly, one of the indicators of having a problem is that you don't take responsibility. You look to blame everybody else. It's the deer, lack of street lights. It's you know, and God rest their souls or whatever. But it's just like you blame it and now you want to blame Ray. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? And leave Ray alone. He's old, he's tired, he's rich. He did his part. Like, he cannot give you the attention that somebody your age does. He ain't got it. He ain't got it to give. He just want to play golf and fish. Leave that man alone. So he did say to her, well, I've been trying to be extra supportive. And he was with the court date. He said, and honestly, I've been, you know, a bit of a taxi cab for you. And I was like, I'm glad you have. But Karen, what you're not going to do is play this fucking game with us. Ray didn't just get this way. And it's all of a sudden when it's on TV and you trying to prove something, I don't know, to a bunch of bitches whose marriages are falling apart or don't have one, that you want to nitpick Ray. Give me a fucking break. So she started saying that, you know, we can't take our marriage for granted. Okay, we get it. And you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe with the Giselle thing, and because Mia's so dumb and stupid and ridiculous, And quite frankly, I just don't take Mia seriously enough to like get mad and up in my shoulders. And I feel like Giselle's evil is far more calculated. But you know what? Even with the new people like Jazzy, Stacy, and there's one more, Jacqueline, but there's also somebody else, Kay. Now that I'm thinking about it, those are not women that Giselle really envies, right? She's already started digging into Stacey. She's glad Stacey got divorced because you know she's miserable. Unless people are miserable like Giselle, she cannot take it. So she got in Jazzy's business about, you know, the extra baby mamas and stuff like that. So she don't want her life. Stacey's going through a divorce. So despite the fact that she's pretty and got plenty of things going on for her, there's still something that Giselle can like hold against her. So she's not really jealous. Jacqueline, or at least we know of, Jacqueline, same fucked up deal. And then Kay is pretty quiet so far. And I really think Kay's just on here to promote her business. And I appreciate that. For her not being, you know, wild and ghetto and stuff like that. But that's why I feel like, just and on the fact that people weren't going to be taping with her. But I think that may have a lot to do with it too. All right, anyway, so Kiana Kay meets up with Mia while she talks to Gordon on a speakerphone in a public place. I don't give a damn about what Bravo wants, which y'all speaking out loud to people on a speakerphone so they can hear it. Other people are patronizing that place. Shut the fuck up. That is so, oh my gosh, that is obnoxious. That gets on my nerves on the train, let alone the restaurant. So anyway, Mia said, as she's talking to Kay, because Kay has had, she's not like a counselor, but her husband does, you know, this kind of groundwork around mental health or whatever. And so she's had a lot of experiences with it. And she didn't purport herself to be like a licensed professional. But Mia said to her challenge is that she has to move around things based on Gordon's feelings. And she's talking to Kay because she knows Kay will show a lot of compassion. She will, Mia. And she will because that's her character. But I know you, and you'll turn around and stab her in the back just because. If you try to read him about looking like a social worker. Anyway, so Kay was like, you know, she brings up the pool incident again. How basically Gordon was just fine with Ink being there at the pool. He was happy. And then he came back and he just flipped. Okay. Kay, thank you for not letting this dizzy broad get away with that fuck shit she pulled. Kay was like, okay, well, first of all, yeah, okay, that is a problem. She said, but it's a trigger for him. And he's probably feeling emasculated. You're right here with your boyfriend. Y'all aren't even divorced. And she was like, and not only that, y'all aren't even divorced because you are there with your boyfriend who you were screwing before Gordon, during Gordon, and while you are in the process of making Gordon and after. So, like, don't act like this is something that it's because of mental illness. No, you doing things that trigger him. And Kay was like, you know, it would be a trigger for me too, to see somebody like that. And I don't care what or why people are breaking up, especially from a marriage. There is no way in hell another person being romantically involved with your husband, wife, about to be ex-husband or wife, in your face, on cameras, wouldn't bother somebody. Yeah, they're getting divorced for a reason, but people are still getting divorced even though they have feelings. But like, it still breaks up. Like, don't play with us, Mia. Don't do that. Okay? He's bipolar and you're not helping Mia. And just shut the hell up to us with that bullshit. I do not like stuff like that. She says that I wonder if Gordon would be okay with us being together, but not intimate. And Kate was like, no. So you're basically willing to continue a marriage with him if you can do what you want to do. Which I thought you was already doing what you wanted to do when you were with him. Anyway, so Kay asked her if Ink, she said, honestly, I just need to ask this, if Ink is her son's father. She said, because I've been hearing otherwise and I don't want to be defending something that's not true. So I just need to know. Mia said, well, look, we're getting a paternity test. It's not for Gordon. Gordon is not in favor of the idea. It's for Ink. She said, no, I don't think he's the father. She was like, but it's weird because my son and him are a lot alike and he has definitely been bothering him. The same man that you said your kids think is your friend. Mia, you're not supposed to have no man just up and around your kids like that. That's not their father. You don't. And that was something I know my mother taught me long before I even had an inkling of what marriage was. That, if anything ever happens, you don't ever have no man around your kids. That's why I don't let men around y'all by yourself and that kind of thing. Like, I refuse to believe there wasn't some woman in your life that gave you these rules. Anyway, so when y'all break up, after you divorce Jeremiah's father, you are going to bring another man in, because you and Ink will eventually break up. You're going to bring another man in and do this all over again. Mia, you raising these kids is looking bad. It's looking bad. Because it's too much on TV. So Ashley meets up with farm boy Josh from speed dating. Why is Ashley dressed like a prostitute again with that little Kim flipped hair and that oversized fur? They're playing beer pong. Why is this show still on? Like, we've run out of things. He was diagnosed with thyroid cancer at age 28. And I was like, wow, every day is precious. It really is. And she was like, thyroid cancer. And he was like, age 28. I was like, bitch, shut up. Anyway, so he said he's okay with her 2 kids. That's so typical Ashley. We know that this is the kind of guy that you would like. But we need to find out what he does, because we already know Ashley is there for the money. Mia's hanging out with her kids at the house while she waits for Gordon to come over. Her son is asking why his parents are living in 2 different places. And she was like, well, we're getting a divorce. And the boy was like, y'all are getting divorced? She said, he was like, why? You didn't explain that to me. And she said, because, look, mommy and daddy can't always get along. Gordon comes to the door. The kids are happy to see Gordon. All right. So Mia tells Gordon basically what they were talking about and her trying to explain the marriage endings, so on and so forth. She says to them, look, we'll always be a family, this, that, and the other. Gordon, despite his appearance of a disposition that I'm reading, was purposely not going back and forth, I think, with Mia in front of the kids, because Mia yaps too much, okay? Even when she means well. So the son said, well, I want y'all to be together, so I'm sad. And Mia was like, don't be sad. And Gordon was like, I think it's okay for him to be sad. Honestly, I'd be worried if he wasn't. Gordon, yes, you get it, okay? So she said, well, let me explain what marriage, she said, do y'all know what marriage is? And they were like, yeah. And then she goes, okay, what is it? They were like, no. Oh my gosh, that is seriously like my life every day at school. Anyway, so the daughter asked, so she explains it and explains, So the daughter asked, where did y'all find each other? Talking about Mia and Gordon. And he was like, Charlotte. She was like, no, but where? And he said, Southeast Charlotte. And she goes, well, where? He said, well, we met in the club. And she quit asking questions. I wonder if Mia pinched her underneath that table, because she don't want to have to admit what she was doing to her kids. But she can't be that ashamed of it, because she goes to it every time the camera's on. Lord have mercy. Anyway, that little girl leaning over to whisper to her father and say, what if mommy marries Mr. Ink? That tells me, Mia, that these kids know y'all are involved. You are up here saying, oh, they think that's just mommy's friend. No, you've told him that's mommy's friend. They don't think he's just your friend. They don't. Okay? You living with another man is affecting them. That's why she went over to her father. And I don't doubt that Gordon was abusive to her. I'm not here for them kind of games. But the fact that the little girl felt so comfortable going over to Gordon said to me she doesn't seem to fear Gordon. She's actually expecting him to kind of step in with this. And Mia, the older they get and the more they understand, the more they will resent you. You think you're protecting their innocence. Protecting their innocence would be not having ink anywhere in their ear or eye shot. And then if you slip out at night while you let a babysitter sleep over there, now see, that right there is how you handle your business, okay? Anyway, so once the kids put in another room, she sent them, she was like, well, arts and crafts always works. And Gordon said, we need to have another conversation with them. He said, because this one was disjointed. And she was like, well, I do a lot to protect their innocence. And he said, look, when they get older and they want to get married, They need to have a certain perspective on life. So they don't repeat the same mistakes he was like, I made, or that you made, because you've been married twice too. And then that they'll keep repeating the cycle unless we have this conversation with them. Gordon has been very clear. He's been diagnosed with a version of bipolar disorder, and he has episodes. He's been honest about that. But Gordon will still have more sense than Mia. And Mia, you're not going to keep weaponizing his mental health diagnosis that he's been honest about. And I'm glad he was, to make us think that therefore your behavior is justified with everything else. Miss us. And she told him, and she did what she does, putting everything on somebody else. She was like, well, I talked to Kay, and she said she thinks us living in the same building is ludicrous. He said it's unusual, but it's working. I said, okay, Tara and Peter Guns. Anyway, Mia telling us you need to get divorced so you can move on and heal. Baby, you've been moved on. So cut it out. Anyway, that's all I got for the Real Housewives of Potomac. I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm going to try to enjoy my birthday tomorrow. And yeah, see ya.